Nation, welcome back. Ugh. And we're back. All right, well, it's been a long off season. The 49ers lost in the Super Bowl to the Chiefs, and that was unfortunate. We're not going to talk about it. We're going to put it out of our minds. But I do want to reflect on how awesome last season was. That was an incredible ride. I'm so thankful to be a 49ers fan, and I'm so thankful that football is back. We're going to start breaking down the Niners Cardinals game that may or may not happen because the air quality is fucking shit right now. The entire state of California is on fire. It looks like Mars when you go outside, and it is like trying to breathe on Mars as well. It doesn't happen. There's no oxygen. So hopefully the game happens. I guess we'll see. Projected to be right on that borderline. The rating is like 200, and it's expected to be right around 206 or 207, something like that. I really hope it works out because I need football. It's the only thing that gets me through at this point. Hopefully, we're actually a better team than what we showed against them last year. But the bottom line is I think it's going to be a tough out to beat the Cardinals. And the main reason for that is Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray is Russell Wilson light. And he is a mobile quarterback. He's very intelligent. He comes from the air raid system. Cliff Kingsbury, his coach, that is the system that he espouses in Arizona. And that is a lot of wide receivers, a lot of space on the field, basically the spread offense. But they do threaten deep quite a bit. And he's the perfect quarterback for that system. Now, the problem for the Niners with Kyler Murray and with mobile quarterbacks in general is that the Niners' greatest strength on defense is their top-tier pass rush. We talked about it a lot last year. And Kyler Murray is the antidote. Russell Wilson is the antidote. Lamar Jackson is the antidote. And to some extent, Pat Mahomes is the antidote to what the Niners do best. And so this could be a trap game for us. This could be trouble. We saw what happened last year. They kept themselves in the game the whole time. And then we were able to pull it out. But what I worry about most is that Kyler Murray is going to have our D-line chasing him around all game long. And with the air quality and the fact that they are just coming out of the offseason, I worry that the Niners are going to get gassed. And in the fourth quarter, that pass rush is going to slow down. Luckily, it's at the beginning of the season, so I don't think it will affect us into next game. I hope it won't. But it could be problems for us towards the end of the game. He is really accurate. He extends the play a lot like Russell Wilson just to keep himself alive and find a receiver downfield. And it's year 2, so he may be more acclimated to the speed of the game. They have a few more weapons on their team now, especially in the receiving core, which we'll get to in a second. And Cliff Kingsbury has another opportunity to kind of reformulate the air raid offense and see if he can adapt it to the NFL style of defense, which it sounds like he has been doing towards the end of the last season. So we're going to get into his weapons, and the main one is one that they acquired this season, in the offseason. DeAndre Hopkins, they acquired from the Texans. I think they traded David Johnson to the Texans, and he just played, last night or a couple nights ago, and he's doing pretty well. But what that means is they have a true number 1 wide receiver. So they pair Nuke Hopkins with Larry Fitzgerald. They still have Christian Kirk. They have something Isabella. I can't remember his first name right now. It escapes me, but he scored a long touchdown on the Niners the first time we played them. So they have a ton of weapons on offense in the receiving core, but they're led by DeAndre Hopkins. Hopkins is the kind of receiver where you throw 50-50 balls to him. He's very physical. He's like a D lineman playing wide receiver, which means he wants contact. He wants to get right up on the cornerback, and he wants to throw him out of the way, get a little bit of space, and then just go up and take the ball away from the defender. And he's great at it. He's incredible. He has very few drops in the past couple seasons. So that's going to be a challenge for our defense and our secondary in particular. to find a way to slow him down. Hopefully they don't have their chemistry going right away, and it's not that much of an issue. So that brings us to our third component, key to the Cardinals' success on offense, which is Kenyon Drake. Kenyon Drake was traded for, I believe, mid-season. I think his first game with the Cardinals was against the 49ers the first time, and he ran roughshod all over us, and he did pretty well in the second game as well. So we're going to have to figure out how to shut down Kenyon Drake because nobody knew about him because he was on the Dolphins, and that's where players go to die. But when he got traded to the Cardinals, he was in our division, and we saw that guy's really talented. He is a shifty runner. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Arian Foster, where it's a lot of vision, and he's a big guy, and he doesn't go down, but he doesn't have elite speed or elite power or anything that stands out on film. It's just a lot of crafty runs where he's patient and he hits the hole, and then when you do try to tackle him, you better bring a load because he's not a little guy. So Kenyon Drake is going to be a challenge for our defense as he was last year in the 2 games that we played with them. On to the keys to victory for the 49ers defense, matching up with that explosive Cardinals offense. First key to victory, I would say, is shutting down that run game. How do we match up against Kenyon Drake? Well, I think that responsibility is going to come down to Fred Warner, who we all know and love. He's in his 3rd season, I believe. Last year, I believe, was his 2nd season. And he has really turned into a superstar on the 49ers defense. He is a smart, fast, explosive player. I was surprised. I figured he was going to be good in coverage, but I was surprised at how much contact courage he had. He's a linebacker, but I think he played in the slot a lot in college. He was kind of like a tweener safety linebacker, like a nickel linebacker. On the 49ers defense, he's calling the plays in the huddle. He is the field general, inside linebacker, and it's crazy how much he has grown into that role. So it's going to be a tough task to deal with their passing game, and if they go 4 wide, I think he's going to be the only linebacker on the field. We might have Quan out there as well, but he's going to be the last linebacker off the field. So there is a huge responsibility for Fred Warner in this game to not only help in the passing game, but definitely to start to bottle up Kenyon Drake and give us a chance. The next key to victory, I would say, is the matchup between Uncle Sherm, Richard Sherman, and DeAndre Hopkins. Like we said, DeAndre Hopkins is a very physical receiver, and that's exactly the kind of game that Richard Sherman wants to play. He wants that contact. He wants to use his craftiness to, outposition you for the ball. And he's long and strong, and he's able to get up there and contest those catches. So that is going to be a great one to watch. The issue is pretty much every snap, Sherman's on the left side of the defense, which means if you want to get Hopkins on our 2nd or 3rd cornerback, you can definitely do it. If you want to match Hopkins up on Emmanuel Mosley, you could definitely do that. So we'll see how that one plays out, but I think he is going to be a key to the victory to kind of limiting the damage that DeAndre Hopkins can do. And third key to victory, again, the air raid offense, they're going to spread it out. They're going to go 4, 5 wide sometimes. And so I wonder who is going to step up after Richard Sherman, Mosley, K'Wan Williams in the slot. If we have to bring in a nickel safety or a dime cornerback, who is that? And to me, that is Tarvarius Moore. I think he had an interception in the Super Bowl. He did really well early on in the season filling in for Jimmy Ward. And then Jimmy Ward came back, and he kind of struggled a little bit. But I would expect that the Niners will turn to Tarvarius Moore when the Cardinals spread it out, and it's going to be interesting. He's another guy who has a lot of length and not a lot of experience, but he's definitely physically talented. I think he ran like a 4.3 something at the combine. So Tarvarius Moore, I think, may have a lot of responsibility on his plate. In terms of the 49ers defensive line. I don't think that they're going to get a lot of opportunities for sacks. I hope that I'm wrong, but I just remember those games against Russell Wilson, against Kyler Murray, and Lamar Jackson, and they just couldn't get to him. As soon as they would they would beeline for him, for one of those guys, they would be able to just scramble away and buy time. And sometimes all of that energy moving in one direction, if the guy can just sidestep you, you take yourself out of the play. So it just does not bode well for our pass rush to show out week one. I hope that's not the case, but I am sort of prepared for a little bit more of a knockdown, drag-out fight. So now we're going to talk about the 49ers offense and how they match up against the Cardinals defense. So again, last year, the 49ers couldn't do anything on the ground. So I really think that the Cardinals sell out to stop the run game. I think that they send Budda Baker or like another defender the backside. They sort of crash him in when it looks like a run play, and he's either going to take out the running back's cutback lane or he's going to go for the quarterback on the keeper. So I think that's how they disrupted our run game last year. Hopefully Shanahan can scheme up some stuff to make him pay for that. I mean, that's really his bread and butter is exploiting your response to his offense. And so I'm excited to see how that plays out. But I think that puts more pressure on the 49ers passing game to be able to put points on the board and keep us moving and keep us on schedule. So the first key to the victory for the 49ers is on offense is Jimmy G, obviously. Now, I love Jimmy G because he's beautiful and he's gorgeous and he's got that, just kind of like laissez-faire smile and he just sort of like lulls you to sleep and you just kind of want to, hang out with him and snuggle with him. It's whatever. It's all good. I don't care. I don't care what you're saying right now. If you're feeling a certain way, I don't worry about that. But the issue with Jimmy G is that when it got to playoff time, I mean, as much as we tried to say, no, he's good, it's just Shanahan just wants to run the ball and pretend Jimmy G's Brian Greasy, or Bob Greasy, Brian Greasy's father. The truth is, I think he had, kind of lost confidence in Jimmy a little bit during the playoffs. Wasn't too bad. You knew you can count on him if you got into a gunfight, and we didn't really have to until the end of the Super Bowl. And we don't want to talk about that. But I think that Jimmy has a lot to prove. He still has a lot to prove. I like him. I think that some of his attributes are incredible. He's got killer release. He stands there. He'll look right down the barrel and make a pass on 3rd and 10, 3rd and 11, 3rd and 17 against the Rams. I think he did that twice in that final drive. So Jimmy has guts. He's a gunslinger. But he also, and we saw this all season, he'll throw it to the other team. He'll throw it in your breadbasket. The game against the Seahawks, the first game, I think he had a few picks, but he should have had 5. They were dropping balls that were hitting them in the numbers. What was it? Wagner had one. I think KJ Wright probably had one that he should have had. So Jimmy has a lot to prove, and I think a big part of it is, can you limit the turnovers? Can you limit the mistakes? It's year 3 playing in the Shanahan offense, and I guess the first year he sat out, but it's year 3 kind of understanding the offense, and I would love to see Jimmy kind of turn it on and figure it out this year, but that is yet to be seen. Hopefully this is the first game where he really does it. The next person that I'm going to call out, because Debo's down, Ayuk's possibly injured, and he's probably going to be limited just because he's a rookie coming in. So I'm going to go to some of the people that work off of the play action pass. And the first person I'm going to talk about is Juice. Kyle Juszczyk ate up the Cardinals in the second game that we played with them last year. And I don't know if he scored a touchdown, but he got tackled inside the 5-yard line 11 times. It was incredible. And he was putting us in position to score. So I think Kyle Juszczyk is a guy to watch. Coming, off the play action, looks like he's going to throw a block. Bam, he hits a wheel route, or he sets up just kind of in the soft spot of the zone. I think you're going to see a lot of passes to Kyle Juszczyk in this game. And he's also going to light some people up and, throw some people down, hopefully. And then the last key to this offense, you'd think George Kittle, right? I think Kittle is going to be a really interesting person to watch. But I'm very, very interested in seeing what Jordan Reed looks like in this offense. So I think the Cardinals are going to focus on taking Kittle out of the game. I think Shanahan knows that. So with this play action stuff, I think it's real likely that Shanahan is going to get Jordan Reed open on crossing routes, and this could be like a 2-touchdown game for Jordan Reed. So now, hopefully he doesn't get knocked out and get injured and have to. I mean, at this point, I think he would have to retire if he got another concussion. I think he's had 7 concussions. But hopefully he can hold it together and he can keep it moving. But I'm really excited to see what Shanahan can do with Jordan Reed as your second tight end, or kind of like your big slot receiver. So I think this could be a big game for him. On the other side of the ball, Cardinals defense. It starts with Chandler Jones putting pressure on your quarterback. And he is one of the best pass rushers in the past 4 or 5 years that we've seen. He's one of the most consistent pass rushers. A lot of pass rushers flash, and then they sort of kind of, get comfortable, rest on their laurels. I feel like Chandler Jones has been a very good pass rusher for the better part of half a decade. And he's trouble. I think he's good friends with Jimmy Garoppolo. When they were on the Patriots, for some reason they hit it off. So hopefully he doesn't take him out. But Chandler Jones is a problem. Luckily, we have the solution. We have Trent Williams. Now, they don't always line him up on Trent Williams' side, on the left side of the offense. Sometimes they're going to go to the right side, which means he's going to take on Mike McGlinchey, and that could be an issue. At least that won't be on your blind side, though. So Chandler Jones, he's someone we need to watch. Second key to victory for the Cardinals on defense would be Budda Baker. Budda Baker, I want to say he's like a mini Ed Reed. I don't think he's that good yet, but he does some things that Ed Reed used to do. His contact courage, his change of direction, his acceleration, and just his awareness, knowing where the ball is going to go, knowing where the play is going to go. He's a very, very smart player. So Budda Baker in the back third of their defense, he is what makes it go. And hopefully he gets fucking trucked by George Kittle again, and he understands that this isn't his year. But what can you do? I would keep an eye on Budda Baker, and I know that Shanahan's going to be paying attention to him as well. And the third key to victory for the Cards on defense, or the third person that I want to watch and see, I don't know if he's going to be a key to victory, but Isaiah Simmons. I think they drafted Isaiah Simmons to match up with Kittle. He's a big, long, kind of tweener linebacker, but also played a lot of safety. And he definitely has the coverage skills that put him kind of in the upper tier of coverage for a linebacker or a safety. But I wonder how much, so we talk about Fred Warner and how he's down to get his nose dirty and get in there and pop the running back coming through the hole. I don't know if Isaiah Simmons has that. And if he did in college, I don't know that it translates to the NFL when dudes are really laying wood on each other. That's a weird term. I feel weird now. Anyway, I'm really just interested to see how they implement Isaiah Simmons and how he matches up with George Kittle. If he matches up with George Kittle, it will be fun to see. All right, so prediction time. I would say this game, the Niners are going to win for sure. And honestly, it's the first game of the season. We didn't have preseason, so who fucking knows? I think I say that a lot, but I'm going to say it again. I have no clue what's going to happen in this game. But if I had to throw a prediction out there, I'd say 49ers win 31-20. And hopefully the fourth quarter is, not super eventful. I hope we're up by, a couple scores when we get into the fourth quarter, and we can just cruise to our first victory of the season. That's my wish. That's my one wish. That's it for our first episode of Season 2 of Niner Notion. I want to thank you all you chanchichos, for being a part of it. Really appreciate you joining for the Pito party. Let's all look out for each other. Let's love one another. Follow us on Instagram, Niner Notion, YouTube, Niner Notion. Like, share, subscribe. Smash that notification bell if you're nasty. And yeah, we'll see you again later on this week. And go Niners.